Hi, everybody. Robin here at Toadstool Tarot. Welcome. It's a beautiful day in New York. I just looked out the window. It's bright and sunny. Haven't been out yet today. Just checked the weather. It's in the low to mid 70s, which is perfect. So I will enjoy going outdoors later on. I also need to apologize because I'm getting such a late start today. Last night, I don't know, have any of you watched the Gilded Age series? It's can't think of the name of the guy that did it. He's the same guy that did
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Oh, my phone's talking to me. Same guy that did oh heck, I can't even remember the big British series. See, I'm forgetting everything. Downton Abbey. Julian Fellows. Okay. It's taking my mind a while to get back in gear. Julian Fellows. He did Downton Abbey, and he also did this series called The Gilded Age about New York. I guess sort of around the same time as Downton Abbey, or maybe a little earlier. Anyway, I had seen the first two seasons and not the third one. And so last night, I stayed up all night and streamed or binge watched the whole third season, which was like 8 episodes, like 8 hours. 8 hours of a show. But I like doing that. I actually don't like continuing shows to sort of string me along from one week to the next. So I kind of like them to wait until they're all done and then watch the whole thing at once. Of course, now, once you've done that, you still have to kind of wait on the cliffhanger for the following season. Unless you wait for the entire series to be streamable and then binge watch the whole series. Anyway, I'm going to say hello to Marilyn's Tarot Take, and Nothing So Strange, Red Wing, Simon, The Hermit's Cave, Saskia Handley. Simon says the decluttering malarkey is gathering momentum. Tarot Ignited, M.A. the Gray, Nine Worlds Tarot, Kristen Louise. What's anybody else? Let's see. Sandra, Spirit of Avalon. Okay. Simon does that too. Binge watches, I guess. Raven Tarot Meditation. Hello. So I apologize. I'm a little out of it because I didn't sleep much last night. I slept late this morning because, like I said, I did 8 hours worth of The Gilded Age last night, which has been so long since I watched season 2 that I kind of forgot the thread of the plot and the characters. So it took me a while to kind of like remember them and catch up where they were left off. And the first episode or so, I thought, I don't know. And then I got really caught up in it the further it went. So I enjoyed it. But I'm kind of glad it's behind me now. Also, I'm apologizing because since I slept so late, I just got up not long ago. Actually, I woke up a little while ago and then went back to sleep for another nap for an hour or so. But I'm still eating my breakfast. So I'm sorry about that. I'm gonna nosh a little bit while we're at it. Finish off. I've got a bowl of cereal with some bananas and blueberries in it. So sorry about that.
You'll need to unlock your iPhone first.
Why are you talking to me, telephone? I'm not saying anything to you. If she starts talking to me again, I'm going to shut her off. So, anyway, I watched Simon did a reorganizing at home and putting things into boxes and storage. And I thought, oh my God, it's so long and overdue for me because I have limited shelf space, which is overflowing. I'm like acquiring new decks and there's no place for them to go. As I scan the shelves, I see lots of decks that I haven't picked up or used in a year or more. And I thought, it's time for me to go through and just kind of maybe weed out some of that unused stuff. Now, it's tricky because once you have something you haven't used and then you look at it again, you might decide, oh, I think I want to use this now. But we'll see. So what I'm going to do also, I'm kind of running out of content. So hello, Elspeth. So I decided for the next few weeks I'm going to do a decluttering on Saturday. Is like one shelf at a time. So today I really should get onto it. It's at 107. I probably have about 20 decks to look at today and try and figure out what to do with them. And this might carry me through a few weeks, but it should clear up some shelf space for me. Now, what I'm going to do with the decks that I move on, I have no idea, because I'm sure people would love me to like resell some of these things. And some of you may be interested in some of these, but for me, it's more of a hassle to pack and ship them than it is to just toss them or pass them on. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I think for now, the point is just to like make room on the shelf and then put them all in a box or a big bag and then figure out later what to do. But if any of these strike your interest, you're welcome to get in touch with me. I just don't know what I'm going to do. And I'm kind of reluctant to ship anything to anyone interested abroad, because in the United States, even though it's still a hassle, I can get one of those post boxes that I think they cost somewhere around $10 a piece to ship whatever you want that fits in the box. And that's less of a hassle than shipping it abroad, because I think you have to fill out forms. It's more expensive. I don't even know if any of you know how much it costs to ship an average tarot deck abroad these days, and whether it's more expensive, say, to Asia or Australia than it is to the UK or Europe. I have no idea. If anybody has any info, toss it in the chat. I'm sure some of you have shipped decks to friends. I'm just talking about like a single deck. It's not likely that I will pack a lot of decks. I don't mean a lot of decks. I mean a deck lot, and ship them. But yeah, anyway, I guess I should sort of get this underway. So I threw everything from one shelf into a bag, and I'm just going to go through a bit at a time. I'm not going to show you every card, but I will show you some cards from each deck, which is going to make it difficult for me. So, all right. First deck, Miss Cleo's Tarot Power Deck. Ever hear of this, you guys? Miss Cleo, she was apparently some kind of notorious scammer that had a TV show around 2000 or something. I never saw her. And I never used this deck. It's weird. It's kind of like, it's decent card stock, It's kind of Egyptian oriented. These are the backs, which are sort of nice. But the fronts are kind of like cartoony. They're sort of like, it's really weird stuff. Hello, Raven Tarot Meditation. Emma remembers her on TV in the early 90s in New York City. Now, this is a deck. This is kind of the perfect example. This is a deck I never use, I never reach for, but I think it's such an oddity. It's such an oddball and kind of vintagey looking item that I think I might just hang on to it. Also, I think it was so cheap that I don't know if I were to resell it, if I'd get anything for it or not. Probably not much. Love the fingernail paint on this Egyptian figures. How did I end up with this deck? Oh, I think, does everybody remember? Oh my God, I'm forgetting her name now. She's a gal that lives on a farm kind of in the Midwest or Southwest who had a channel, and she had a little chihuahua and a bigger dog and some grown boys. And Simon might remember who I'm talking about. She did a lot of walkthroughs and chats like out in the yard, and you'd see like chickens going by and like horses and cows and stuff. Oh, good God, what was her name? I'm blanking out. But anyway, she showed it, I think, at one point on her channel. Donna, thank you, Simon. Yes, Donna. I wonder whatever happened to her. I guess she's real busy. She doesn't seem to do content anymore. I saw it on her channel, and then I went and kind of Googled it, and I found it on Amazon, and it was cheap as like $10 or something, $9. So I went ahead and I bought it. Anyway, I've wasted enough time on this deck, but Ozark Oracle. Thank you, Simon. So I'm going to hang on to this just because it's so weird. It's weird and quirky, and I may revisit this in another year and, decide get rid of it. But for now, it's just strange enough. It's just eccentric enough that I've decided I think I'll put that one back on the shelf. All right, reaching into the bag. Come on, let's have something here. Oh, don't have the original box, or maybe I do. The Golden Botticelli, which I've got at this was a favorite at one time. I really liked this. It's a Lo Scarabeo deck, and the backs are beautiful. Some of you may have this. I'd sort of really like these kind of gilded decks for a while. I spoke to her quite recently. I got her to watch It's a Sin. Okay, I don't know that. Isn't that a Pet Shop Boys song? Anyway, so these have like filigree gold embellishments on the cards, and they're different every card. It's not just like stamped on every card. Each one is a little different, which I like. And I like that the filigree energy is in the air around the images. The one thing I don't like, of course, is that the old style multiple languages on the borders that Lo Scarabeo has, which I suppose could be trimmed, but then you have that problem of the backs not aligning properly. So anyway, I mean, it's a really pretty deck, and it was maybe in my top 10 at one time. I liked it that much. And it's still a pretty deck to look at. I did actually look at this recently and was not as taken with some of the images as I was at one time. Love that one. It's these three little demons or whatever. Which one is this? Is this the three of, oh, must be maybe the three of coins? Oh, it's the two of pentacles. Okay. Yeah, you can see them on the ground there. Cute. Anyway, take that one up to the cloisters and do a reading in the courtyard. So, I hate to disappoint you all. I think this one's going to stay a little longer too. Got to get to something I can let go. Golden Botticelli is gorgeous. Okay, so I'm hanging on to this. Well, I'm not making no headway so far. Let's reach into the bag. What else have we got? Oh, another one. Here's another one I love, actually. Probably, I randomly threw this stuff into a bag, so it's not coming out in the sequence that I had it on the shelf. This one, there was a whole controversy with this company called Duck Soup, but I absolutely love this deck. It's the Trick or Tarot. And I drag this out every Halloween, so this one ain't going anywhere. I really love this. They nice cardstock, pretty backs, and I don't usually do themed decks, but this one, I think this is my favorite of all my Halloween themed decks, of which I don't have too many. But they sort of collaged things from various old images and little collectible Halloween items and things. And it doesn't photograph very well here on the screen, but I really, really like this one a lot. And I can read with it. And this is one that I think I only use at Halloween, but every time Halloween comes around, I do reach for it. So I would miss this if I let it go. So this one I will hold on to as well. Old scratch for the devil. Well, we're not getting anywhere, are we? Reach into the bag and pull out. Oh, this is tricky. This is a Conrad Stain, the burnt cam. I don't know what it's called. I have it labeled the burnt camois. It's a what do you call it? Marseille deck, and it's really pretty. It's got these beautifully colored backs, and it's very vintagey looking. It has a kind of a burnt sort of yellow feel to it in a way. It's really, really kind of a pretty kind of Marseille deck, sort of aged. And I don't know that I need that many Marseille decks, but this is a nice one. I think at some point I might let this go, but I think it's kind of a maybe right now. I think there's no pressing need for me to let this go right at the moment. So I think this is going back on the shelf. That would have to stay for me, says Simon. Oh, hey, Zach. The Tiger's Abyss. Hello. How many decks are going out so far? None yet. I'm on the fourth one now. So nothing's leaving yet. I feel like I gotta make at least 3 or 4 decks shelf space as I move on. Oh, well, again, Marseille. Okay, here's a dilemma. I've got two more Marseille decks. One's the Universal Tarot of Marseille, and then the other one is the Golden Tarot of Marseille. Now, I kind of like them both, but do I need them both? The Universal Marseille, again, another Lo Scarabeo deck with multiple languages at the top and the bottom. That I'm not keen on. And the backs are pretty. But I have, and I like the shading in this Marseille deck. You know what? I think the multiple languages might have just taught me out of keeping this deck. Also, compared to other Marseille decks that I have. But very similar to this one is the Golden Tarot of Marseille. And this one, is this also Lo Scarabeo? It is. But this one doesn't seem to have, this doesn't have the multiple languages. Again, nice backs. But this one has the gold on it. I think I'm going to keep this one and let the other one go. So I'm going to, finally I've hit one. Okay, this one's leaving. And it's so generic, you can probably find it anywhere. But that one's going. And this one I'm going to hang on to because this is one that I kind of like if you read in low light or by candlelight. I kind of like how the gold foil kind of jumps out at you. I think what I was disappointed by when I saw I got this next to the other one is the other one had nice shading on the figures, and this one, the colors are very flat. But I do kind of like the accents, and I think the deciding factor for me in this case is those multiple languages on the other cards. So that one's going, this one's staying. What's next? All right. This is going to be a little controversial. The gold is so shiny. I think to do this or that comparison for multiples of decks that are similar, Robin. Oh, hey, Antoinette. Universal TDM would be great to give to a beginner because the LWB by Lee Burstyn is great. The two have the same Burdell art, so keeping just the golden makes sense. Oh, a Taproot Tarot, hello. So people are still kind of coming in. I find those golden decks are quite novel for a time. All right, this one's tricky, and I feel guilty about this, but this is a deck I think I'm going to let go. And I have 3 versions of this deck. It's the Raincoast Tarot. The Raincoast Tarot by, I forgot the guy's name. Simon will know it. Sandra might know it. Who's the guy that did the Raincoast Tarot? Oh, it probably says on the back. Actually, it doesn't. Well, this is the borderless edition. Oh, Sandra sold her Raincoast Tarot. Christoph James, thank you. Yeah, this is the borderless edition. And at the time, I was so enamored of it. Here's the backs, really nice backs. Oh my God, and it looks so pretty now that I'm looking at it. See, that's the problem. once you start doing this and you look at the images, you start to change your mind. But when I got this, it was so unusual and so interesting and limited edition that I got this, and I also lucked out and got the black and white one, which is probably, if anybody collects them, that's highly collectible. I don't know if this one's still available. But you know what? As beautiful as this is, I think I'm going to let it go. So I'm going to let my Raincoast Tarot Borderless Edition go. And part of the reason is, as beautiful as it is, I never use it. Now, here is the black and white one, which I don't know if you've ever seen. This is also a borderless edition. And this is a nice variation on the color one. Have you guys ever seen this black and white one? I don't know that it was ever shown or talked about much, but he didn't do as many in the run as the color one. But you know, if you like black and white and shades of gray, this might appeal to you. And like I said, I don't know how I'm disposing of these yet. If anybody has interest in any of them, you can get in touch. My email is on the, what do you call it, the details or about me page or whatever of my channel. And if you're in the United States, it's less of a problem for me to get one of those, you know, free boxes and shove it in a box. And I still don't like going to the post office, but there is a post service around the corner from me, which isn't that far out of my way. It's not that difficult to do, but I have to deal with payment through PayPal. So it's going to be like, it'll be $10 for the shipping or thereabouts, and probably another 10 for the deck. So maybe about $20. I don't know. I'm sure it's worth a lot more than that. But anyway, so those two versions of the Raincoast Tower are going. Now, he also, at one point, gifted me a little mini version of the Majors Only of the Raincoast Tarot. And that one I'm going to keep. Cute backs. So I will still have kind of a sense of the Raincoast Tarot in this little Majors Only version, which I will use because I like Majors Only decks. So there you go. I'm keeping that, and I have a little vinyl box from MPC. I'm keeping it in, so that'll go back on the shelf. Okay, 3 decks so far we're getting rid of. That's something. Found one I'm not sure about. What do you guys think of this one? I have a feeling you're going to talk me into keeping it, but I don't know how I feel about it. Let's see. What are people saying? I love that one more than the black and white. I kept both. Hi, Jane. Welcome. And people like this, the Aleister Crowley one. Very cutthroat, Sandra. Do you ever get regrets? Find it so difficult to let go of decks, even if I don't like them. I have bought decks back before. I do try to be careful now. Yeah, I've had that happen too, and that's what I'm worried about. We love Majors Only, Robin, says Jane. I love your open face Majors. Thank you, Jane, so much. I still use it every day. It's still really important to me. I actually just sent a copy of my Majors Only off to my college, one of my surviving college mentor, this professor. He's like 86 now, and I somehow I felt like he was an art professor, and I thought, even though it's not the most wonderful artistic deck, some of the images are very artful, and they're all sort of depictions of my art to some degree or some level. And I just kind of sent it to him as a thank you. He's also kind of interested in esoteric things. I don't know that he has ever tackled tarot, but I thought since I sent him the mini version of the open face without any labels on it, he could just sort of like peruse it as an art gallery in a box of work by one of his former students. So I thought, I'd send it as a thank you. He really impacted my life. Actually, I would encourage that to any of you that had a teacher in your life that impacted your creative output or your exploration to, sit down and compose a little note or a letter or send them a card, a thank you, to let them know what kind of impact they had, that they influenced someone in their direction. So, oh, hello, Gerald. Welcome. He's on a yard work break. I know how much he loves his yard work. Wink, wink. So this one is the Halloween tarot, which I feel like I had two versions of. I feel like I had a smaller one and then one in a kit. Or maybe I only got the one in the kit because I wanted the book. This is one that I never use, and it's kind of nice. But I think, even when Halloween comes around, it's as kind of cute and fun as the images are. They're almost too cutesy, and I don't think I'm going to use it. I had that other Halloween deck, and I kind of feel like one Halloween deck for Halloween is enough for me. And also, this one's still in print. So I think if I let this go and I have regrets, I can get it back. I think I'm going to let this go. So, and I haven't reached for this for a couple of years probably. So Halloween tarot is going. And then I didn't see anybody shriek or scream in the chat. No, not that one. Okay, let's see what's next. Ooh, this is a challenge. The Dark Grimoire Tarot. This is another one kind of that comes out around Halloween. And this is a dark kind of spooky deck. It's low scarabeo again. And the problem with this is, again, those multiple languages on the cards. I love the backs. I tend to sort of get into H.P. Lovecraft in the autumn and drag out one of his collections and read a few of his stories. And this was kind of intriguing. It's not quite what I hoped for in terms of depicting his stories. The cards are really on the creepy side. They're almost black and white. They're almost more like sepia or something. There's a little bit of color, but not very much. It's very muted. And some of the images are dark and creepy and a little hard to see. And I don't often reach for this or use it. But I think that since I'm drawn back to his stories every October around Halloween, I might hang on to this a little while longer. So this is kind of, it's funny, my categories, I don't even know if they're categories. I think I'm going to hold on to this and I have a kind of a mid-ground maybe thing, and those are just going back on the shelf. I should probably keep them on a separate part of the shelf. But they're kind of like, okay, you get a reprieve for a few months longer. and then I may decide again that I don't need you or want you anymore. And as I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, I probably don't need this anymore. I probably won't pull it out and look at it. But there's part of me that thinks if I let it go, there's going to be an instance somewhere where I think I want to look at that today, and it's not there. So this one's staying for a little while longer. The Dark Grimoire Tarot. It's hard to remember. It should have just been called the Lovecraft Tarot. So that one's staying. I don't think I know this deck, says Gerald. I'm glad they've ditched those pesky multiple language words. Halloween Tarot is free to go, says Zach. Jane says, I agree. My mom had 5 pairs of white pants. I made her choose 2. She's still mad at me. It's good for checking in on your inner bitch and taming it. Purgatory shelf. No, I will not devote a whole shelf to purgatory. I probably should, and there could be a purgatory box, but these are just going back on the shelf with the others, and I think over time they're going to stand out glaringly against the ones that I still love. Hello, Taproot Tarot. Okay, next deck. Oh, the Old English Tarot. All right, I have a kind of a soft spot for this deck. It's a pip deck, kinda, but it's nice card stock. It's U.S. Games, I believe. Yep, and nice backs. And there's something I kind of like about the illustration style, and it's a pip deck, but it's got some scenes. Well, these are the court cards, but yeah, see, it's got pips, but there are sort of like scenic elements that are kind of downplayed in the bottom of the card that aren't exactly RWS related or Marseille related, but some of them I find kind of cute and charming in a kind of a modern interpretation of medieval or Middle Age times. I kind of like this one. So yeah, I'm going to hang on to this. This is the Old English Tarot. Simon really likes this deck. Saskia likes it too. Rounding some corners on a deck, so mostly just listening and rooting for you. I've never been to a circle punch before. They're fun. Never let a deck go yet, but there's a couple I'm tempted to turn into a picture board, a crazy cut and glue piece. I see a lot of nods to RWS. Yeah. Okay. Ooh, I got to get kind of moving on these because it's 1:39 already. All right, what's in this? Oh, I know what this is. Okay, it's funny. This came in a funny bag, little velvet bag. Actually, it didn't come that way. I think they liked my review so much they sent me the little bag, and it's like a satin-lined velvet bag, which is nice. It's a tarot deck with original artwork by Pamela Coleman Smith. It's kind of got a nice box, and the colors are weird. I think that this one is sort of like a sunburnt kind of. The images are kind of sunburnt, as I recall, on the faces. It's sort of linen stock. I mean, it's got that linen texture to it. Those are the backs, which I don't care much for. I liked the color on the figures, but everything has a kind of a sunny golden, like suntan feel to the coloration. But I have so many RWS decks that I don't know that I need this one anymore. It's not, it's nice, but I don't know that I don't think I'll really miss it. I think I might let this one go. I've got Simon's full attention. I really don't like those backs. I don't know why, but I don't like those backs. I do kind of like the coloration though, the tone and tint of it. I think, and I like that it's linen. I don't think I have another linen RWS. But I think this is a case where I have other RWSs that I like more. I don't need to be completist about this. And I think because I dislike the back so much, it's funny. It shouldn't make that much of a difference, but I dislike the backs enough. I'm going to let this one go. I don't think I'll think much about it once it's gone. It was an interesting box. Let's see who published this thing. It just says made in China, so I don't even know. I can't remember the company that contacted me. Yeah. And I don't think there's no guidebook with it or anything. It's funny though that they made that drawstring bag that they sent to me. And at the time I got it, I really liked the coloration, and I love that Ouroboros lemniscate image on the bag. Like the Marseille, you really only need one RWS. You see one, you've seen them all. Coloration be damned. Well, that's one opinion. I think Simon would disagree with that. I'd mod it in an unexpected way, Robin, just saying. Well, but Gerald, do you ever weed out your decks? Do you keep everything? You repurpose and recycle and keep everything, I think. I don't know if you've ever, maybe you might have let go of one deck, maybe. I don't know. I bet the linen shuffles like a dream. It does. Backs are very important to me. I weirdly find blue plaid really boring. For ages, I could not stand the blue plaid backs on the Rider-Waite Smith. Somehow I've gotten used to them. Now, I mean, I got a Blushing Fool, and I rarely use it, but it's got a blue plaid back, and I'm okay with it now. I don't know why. Not sure what they're talking about here, about a Beaumonte deck. Let a few decks go and it felt great. All right. Ooh, I got about 7-8 decks to go. I got to get moving here. Quarter of. Oh, this is a Solabusca that I ordered. It didn't come in any, just shrink wrap from MPC. And it's the only Solabusca I have. And I'm not a big fan of Solabusca. It's got plain black backs. It's got that nice MPC cardstock. And it does have sort of minimal borders. And I never use this. And I'm not real fond of the Solabusca as a deck. Is this distorted, or was it always that way? It looks distorted to me. I think this is another one that I don't need and I could let go, but because Solabuska might come up in a Tarosphere conversation sometime in the next year, I might be wanting to reach for it and look at it again. So, now that I'm looking at this, these images look kind of like stretched out and just distorted, and I'm not sure if they are or not. Some are more so than the others. Spooky. I was looking through Bertie's version of this a couple of hours ago. Zach, I sold a 5-foot tub worth of decks to my local metaphysical shop. Looking forward to moving along more down the line. Moomin Tarot, hello. Late and distracted, but listening in. You have such great decks, Robin. Well, that's a question. Are they great decks if I'm moving them on? I don't like the majors for this deck. Sadly, does nothing for me. This one's pretty. Solabuska takes a bit of studying. Bought the huge book to help me with it. That's the thing. I'm not much of a book person. And also, anything, the artist must have been really high on mushrooms. Anything I have to do too much studying on, it's like if I can get into the studying, I'll do it. But if I can't, I don't want that. It's like, now a lot of people are doing things with astrology and Kabbalah. I can't be bothered with that at this stage in my life. Maybe at some point, never say never, but I'm really have to head out to get ready. I'll watch that later. Bye, Simon. See you in a bit. Yeah, at this point in my life, I think I'm not getting into Kabbalah and astrology. There are people that want to do that. I read sort of from a psychological perspective, and I don't study psychology. So it's like image interpretation in terms of the actions we take and the archetypes of daily life. And that's kind of where I'm at with tarot. So I don't need to go into the woo-woo metaphysical areas with it. But anyway, I'm going to hold on to the Solabuska a little bit longer. I have here, the Nigel Jackson Tarot. This will probably appeal to some people. This is out of print, and I think he just has, it's called the Rose Tarot or something like that. These cards are kind of an odd size. That's a con for me. I don't like oversized cards. Not crazy about the backs. The card stock is nice enough. And the colors are sort of pastel. I kind of like the illustration style. But again, it's a deck I never reach for. It's probably worth something because I think it's out of print. And they haven't reprinted. They went with that other version, the Rose Tarot or something. I do like the expressions on the figures. This is one I wonder if I let go, whether I'd regret it later. I'm not sure because I never think about it. Never. Like if somebody, and it's out of print, and if somebody out of the blue starts showing in their tarot channel a walkthrough of this deck 6 years down the line when nobody can get it, am I going to think, oh, I had that. I wish I'd held on to it. Not feeling it right now. I think I'm going to let this go. The chat, I'm getting more people in the chat these days. It's going by quicker. It's a deck to do in a weekly Study group, shared learning helps me get through decks that I wouldn't have finished studying. Agreed, says Tony. The books are a bit of a sticking point for me too, but genuinely is teaching okay if it's all fluff on composition. It's not being isn't being opened. I asked earlier, and if you don't wish to answer, I completely understand. Do you do readings for clients? No, I mean, I don't charge. I'm happy to do readings for people, but I don't charge anything. For me, it's a learning and growth experience, and I enjoy it. And oddly enough, even though I read every day in a cafe, nobody has ever approached me for a reading except one of the waitresses. And I said I would, but not on the clock. I don't want to get her in trouble with her bosses. So that's, and she never came back to me on a break or after work to follow up. So I just kind of let it go. Nigel Jackson Tarot, the one that's on the wish list for me, says Zach. Well, Zach, you're in the States. If you're interested, get in touch with me via my email, robinleecrutchfield@gmail.com. You can find it on my channel information page, and we'll work something out. It's going to cost a minimum of $10 just to ship. So like maybe 20. I don't know if that's worth it to you or not. I'm sure it's worth a lot more than that, and I hope you don't buy it and resell it. Also, Hermetic Kabbalah and astrology really does help explain why some of the figures cards are drawn that way. Okay, have at it, Zach. Leave me out of that. It's not my thing. Let's see, what else have we got here? Oh, I got a bicycle deck of playing cards. These are domino cards. And I don't never use these, but they're pretty. Ooh, they're linen. Nice linen cards. But they've got domino images on them. I think at one point I was going to try to divine with dominoes, and cards seemed easier to carry around than a box of dominoes. But I never use these. I've never played with them. And I have lots of little mini sets of dominoes. I don't usually have people to play with. Now I have a partner that we're now kind of like starting to enjoy, like board games and things. We went to visit the Uncommons board game cafe across the street a week or two ago, and that was kind of fun. So, we might play dominoes, but I don't think we'll play with these cards. So if anybody's into domino cards, that one can go. I'm down to 4 decks. This one is the Tarot of the Witches, which I'm sure a lot of you have. This is one that I don't use either, but I think I'd miss it if I didn't have it. It's decent card stock. I kind of like the plaid backs, even though plaid backs are sort of boring. I'm not crazy about the pips. I like the coloration of the deck, and I like the illustrations in the majors. And this is one that I could just turn into a majors only deck and set the rest of the cards aside. I think because this is sort of a classic that a lot of people refer to time after time, that I'm going to hold on to this, like along with like the Aquarian and, a couple other decks of that ilk, at least for a little while longer. So Tarot of the Witches is staying. Oh, Zach's emailing me now. Okay. What else? Oh, Bob Ross playing cards. Is anybody? I think this is another one that Donna might have turned me on to. It's a little deck of playing cards, and the is the Witch's Tarot the one that the quartz are the same except the colors? I'm not sure. It's a James Bond deck. Marseille Tarot and the Tree of Life have strong common connections. So this has Bob Ross on the back and little sayings on the Bob Ross sayings on the front, like, didn't you know what? Didn't you know you had this much power? You can move mountains. You can do anything. Okay, so this is like an oracle deck, I guess. It's sort of a, this is a happy place. Little squirrels live here and play. I mean, this is one of those pat on the back affirmation type decks. Anytime you learn, you gain. Yeah, it's kind of like fortune cookie wisdom, and I don't think I need this. At the time, I thought it was a fun little oddity, but Bob Ross wisdom, I mean, and you can play cards with it, whether you use it as an oracle deck or not. I'm going to let this one go. So I'll do a quick roundup at the end to show you which ones I'm letting go. 2 more left for this shelf. Oh, this is a tricky one. This is one that I coveted for ages, and I have to see if I can find the book. Along with that Halloween deck, I have a book somewhere because it was a kit that I'm going to have to look for. This is the Decadent Dream Tarot. Anybody ever hear of this? The creator didn't do too many of these. It was like a limited edition, and then they passed away. And I love the backs on these. So beautiful. And the cardstock is nice. It's very kind of MPC cardstock. And this one uses a lot of like symbolist paintings and surreal kind of, you know, and pre-Raphaelite images. Oh, there's nudity. But a lot of the cards are really dark and hard to read. And as much as I love the odd collection and some of these original paintings, I think they could have tweaked it a little bit to lighten them up or give them more contrast or something. It's gorgeous, but this is one where I think I liked the back more than I liked the fronts of the cards. There are a handful of paintings in here that I really love, but I think some of them are repeated in the Tarot of Delphi, which I have, which is another deck I never use. So I think I'm gonna let this go. Decadent Dream. Yeah. This one I kind of hate to let go because it's out of print. It's not findable. But if I'm not using it, and likely never will, this one's been sitting on my shelf for 2-3 years, and I've not used it. I think it's got to go. Decadent Dream Tarot. And the last one is Conrad Stain's Raincoast Oracle. And this one I had some odd issues with. Again, I don't really like oracle decks so much. These are the backs. I love the backs. I think they're pretty. I think I even suggested to him when he was looking at samples that would make a great back. And this is a nice deck, sort of like an art deck of his paintings. I love the paintings, but each one has a quote on the bottom. Let's see, what's this one? They're hard to read. Enjoy all of life's flavors. So, I mean, the cards and colors are pretty. but it's like, I don't use Oracle decks. Not ones that are like, that have phrases on them. I mean, I'm almost tempted to keep this because of the art, but I think because of the words that are hard to read and are not words that I don't like phrases on Oracle decks. If I have an Oracle deck, I like a single word. I don't like, wordy Oracle decks. So, and as I'm looking at this, some of the images are nice, but it's not really my art style, and I haven't drawn it out and looked at it in a while, so kind of don't miss it. I think I'm going to let this go too. Now, the ones I'm letting go, there's no, this is no judgment on the quality or the, how good or bad the decks are, or anything. It's just, it's just not, I don't use them. So I made some headway. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 decks I'm letting go. Yay. Somebody give me a round of applause. Raincoast Oracle. Raincoast Tarot Black and White and Gray. Raincoast Tarot Color. The Halloween Tarot, which I need to be reminded to grab the book to go with it. Decadent Dream Tarot, that RWS one. The Universal Tarot of Marseille, the Bob Ross playing cards, the Domino playing cards, and the Nigel Jackson Tarot, which I think Zach has already kind of put a reserve in on. So guys, that's it for me this week. It's after 2. You might want to hustle over to Simon's channel if you're so inclined. Zach says, if I wanted to read words, I'd pick up a book, not a pack of cards. Never a huge fan of more than 3 words on a deck. Yes, I feel the same way. Yeah, it's like you might as well have a book of wisdom, right? You don't need them on cards. Like the idea of handing out the Bob Ross cards to grumpy people. That's fun. Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. If you're in the States and you're willing to negotiate, reach out to me, and if I'm willing to go through the bother of dealing with PayPal payments and boxing stuff up and taking it to the postal place, we might work something out. I hate to let these, I don't think they're going in the trash, but I don't know what I'm going to do with them yet. I'll have to figure it out. So if you're interested, get in touch, I guess. As of today is Saturday, August 30th, 2025. So anybody that sees this on YouTube in the future, I may retract that. It's like, if you haven't gotten in touch with me in a couple of weeks, these decks are probably not around anymore. Go on, Robin. Push yourself out of comfort zone a little. Can't wait to see the next shelf. Okay, yeah. See you all next week, and we'll see what I got in that shelf. Bye, everybody. Have a great week.